Hey, it's Matt Foss. Today we're going to talk about the 5 things that companies get wrong every single time. Number 1, the vision isn't clear. What's the vision? The vision is, where is this company going? You know, if you're sitting here watching this as an owner, when you start a company, you have this goal, this objective, this vision, this dream of where the company goes. And if you work in the business, the vision is the strategy. How are we going to get to this ultimate place? Well, when the vision isn't clear, what happens is there's one of 2 things that happens. The owner is not being clear on what they want and where it's going to be. And a lot of times that owner has the problem because they think that they're being clear on what they want. But owners, you're not being clear. You have to say it over and over and over. These people are not in your head. So we have to be able to put it on paper to explain where we want this company to go. And if we have that on paper, if you currently have a strategy and the people in the organization don't know, it's because you're not communicating it. I can help you understand how you put that on paper and then how you communicate it down to the team. Because if you don't have a vision, you just have a whole bunch of people coming to work every day and you don't actually have a game plan. And for us athletes, that's the game plan of how you go out and beat that team. If you don't have a plan on how you're going to beat the team, you're just showing up. We can't show up. The second is having the wrong people in the wrong seats. This can be one of 2 things. 1, wrong person. This means that this person does not live up to your values. And 1, if you have not defined what your values are, you're already off to on the wrong page. For all of us athletes, maybe the values weren't defined, but there was a way that we showed up for practice. There's a way that we did things, and there was a way that we treated people. Think about that. It was an unspoken rule of what the culture was on that great team that you work for. Do you have that in your business today? And then having the wrong people in the seat, this means, hey, this is a good person. It's a good person that's working for you, but they're not getting their job done. So maybe they're in the wrong seat. You're asking them to do something. And if you take this to the sports world, hey, if I played football, so all of a sudden you've got somebody that is a free safety that's playing the line, and every time they're getting run over. Whose fault is that? That's the coach. They're practicing hard, they're showing up, but they just can't get the job done. They're the right person, but they're in the wrong seat. So it's up to you as the leader to make sure if you got the right person, let's make sure they're in the right seat. Because when you have the right person in the right seat, you can do anything. If you have the wrong person in the wrong seat, you're just going to keep spinning your wheels and being disappointed. And it's up to you to make that decision and be clear on what those seats, what the roles are in each one of those seats. The next one is having no metrics. There are so many teams out there that are running their business with absolutely no metrics. And if you're one of those that doesn't have a budget, doesn't have a true P&L, and really when I talk metrics, I'm talking about the weekly metrics that we're tracking our people to making sure that they're doing what they need to do. And this isn't micromanaging, right? This is not micromanaging. This is making sure that they're coming into practice and they're running the plays we need them to run. And if you haven't defined what that is, as a leader, that's your job. Because every day, every person in your organization has to have a metric to know that they are having success. And if you do have a metric in place and they're not doing that, you have a weak accountability. And there's so many teams. I work with hundreds of teams, thousands of people, and accountability is one of the number 1 things. And the reason people have a weak accountability is because they're not clear on what their vision is, they're not clear on what their culture is, they're not clear on what the roles are, and they don't have metrics to be able to judge and let those people know that they're doing their job or not. So these first 3 come into a weak accountability. And if you have all those and you still have a weak accountability, it's your backbone that's weak because you're not holding your people accountable for whatever reason. So you need to understand and look at yourself in the mirror and realize a leader is the one that holds people accountable. People don't hold themselves accountable. And the last is a culture. What kind of culture do you want in your organization? Do you want one that's hard driving? Do you want one that's laid back and relaxed? Do you want to have a ping pong table, or do you want to have a boiler room? There's not one that's right and there's not one that's wrong, but you have to define the culture. And owners, I'm talking to you. You have to define the culture and you have to drive the culture. You can't be an owner that is not in the business. Because if you're not in the business defining and driving that culture, do you know who drives the culture? The loudest person in the organization. And if you have some good people, right-hand man or right-hand woman that can drive the culture that you want, but if you don't, the person that's driving the culture is the loudest one. And sometimes that culture that they're driving is not the thing that you're looking for.